in World War II. I think that's important.
Okay, did you hear that? He wants to hear you tell a little bit about when you were in World War II. Okay, now, we gotta be careful with this, because we're talking to Alston here. World War II was a long time. Okay, just some thoughts, okay?
Well, whenever I went into service and everything, my mother was sick with pancreatic cancer. The doctor gave her 90 days left. My dad had that melanoma cancer and everything, and he was in rather bad shape too. And I went to, they were in Cobos, New Mexico, and I was paying their bills, what little money I had, I was paying on their bills and everything. But I was registered to draft in Wichita Falls, Texas. Well, I went down to Wichita Falls with letters from my doctors and everybody telling them that my mother was, had 90 days to live, and I went down to get a 90-day deferment. They wouldn't give it to me, so they dressed me in, and I go, of course, when I went in, I went work all over Texas, over Mineral Wells, and I can trace you all through where I went, but anyway, we went to Salt Lake City, Utah, and wound up back down in Madison, Wisconsin. I went to radio school there for about 3 months. I learned enough from radio school to know how to take the radio out of the plane and take it to signal corps and get it fixed, take it back and put it back in there. Anyway, we went to Charleston, South Carolina, and joined I went into the Air Corps. It was, back then it was called the United States Army Air Corps, and later on it became independent, and so on. But then we went to Charleston, South Carolina, and that's where we formed our cadre. And I got into the 433rd Squadron group, the 68th Squadron of that group. We got to leave to go home, and a week before we go overseas and everything, I got back, and they had a plane that was been redlined. They couldn't get the radio to work. And so that thing grounded all the time I was gone. I came back, my communications officer wanted to go out there and see if I could get it fixed. But I was sort of like I told you, all I knew is how to take them out and take them to signal corps and go and fix them. But anyway, I get out there, and I go along, and I'm taking these microphones and pulling them loose and calling the tower, and I pull this one loose and called the tower and got a 5-to-5 reading. So I took that one off, took it over and got me another mic, put in there, took it off the red line, went back. Well, I was in good shape with my communications officer after that. And that put me just high enough. I wound up getting all the way up to staff sergeant while I was in service. But that kept me just high enough in service where I never did get on KP and some of that. And every time we would advance to the next station, I always went up to set up the workbenches and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I worked up to a staff sergeant. But I was in there 3 years. We went to Sydney, Australia. Then we went up to Port Moresby, New Guinea. We go to Natchez, New Guinea, right out in the middle of those jungles. No roads out of there. You flew in and out. And I sat there for 2 years, but they did finally get a road cut down to a little town called Lay down on the Gulf there. But I sat there for 2 years. I was in a fairly safe deal. We got bombed a couple times, straight 3 or 4 times. That's all the danger that I was in, except whenever I would fly to an advanced deal up into the combat zones and so on. But I was in what they call a troop carrier. And that's with all the gasoline and supplies up to the troops up on the front lines and everything, get the wounded and haul them back to the base, to the hospitals and that type of thing. But anyway, I've got, well, I don't know how many actual combat ribbons, but probably 6 or 7, I guess. Whenever I got discharged, I had malaria.
And, I got discharged to El Paso, and I was sick and everything, but I wasn't going sick leave, I was going out of the Army. And, I left my jacket and everything, Sherman off to get me that back, but then with a lot of stuff, I didn't do it. But anyway, I lost all my combat ribbons and stuff like that, and I never did try to get them back, but I was in several combat zones, but I was always at a safe distance back on, and I didn't have to much work with it.